next up, I'm going to invite Laura Patterson here to say a few words, and Laura is here with her son, Bo. So Laura.
Hi, everybody. I'm Laura. This is Bo. So we've been involved with Easter Seals now for probably 7 years, I would say. Bo's going to be 9 this year, and he's always needed the support of Easter Seals and accessibility equipment, I would say. And the first kind of equipment that we needed was a bath seat. And you think having a child who's less than 2 years old, that they wouldn't need a lot of extra things. But with Bowie's condition, he couldn't sit independently, and then he has a movement disorder, so he would get himself into some risky situations without proper support. So that bath chair, I remember saying, you know, how much is it going to cost, right? Like, what do we need to do here? And it was just a glorified lawn chair that went in the tub, and it was $1,500. And I just remember thinking, wow, okay, that's a lot. Hopefully it lasts a little while. And then I thought, well, you know, I have a good job. My husband has a good job. We'll put it through our insurance because we pay a lot of money in insurance. And that's what it's there for. And they came back and they said, we're sorry, it's been denied. It's not an essential piece of equipment. And I said, do you take a bath every day or a shower? It's pretty essential. But so they were denied, and that's how we were connected with Easter Seals. And they said, we can help. And so thank you so much. And they haven't really looked back since. Bo's first chair, it was a stroller. And I thought, he's just so petite. You can use a stroller for however long, whether they max out at 100 pounds. But the stroller wasn't supportive enough for him. So he needed a wheelchair stroller, and it was almost $13,000. And again, our insurance was great, and they would cover a portion, and ADP would cover a portion, but there's still significant amounts left for families to scramble to purchase. And so, for example, what we put through a claim, and when it came back, everything was approved, but our portion that we paid was almost $20,000. And so on one hand, I was so excited to have this equipment available for Bo to help him sit, move, relax, play. But then on the other hand, I was thinking, where are we going to come up with $20,000 to float until, you know, we can submit it through to insurance, or we can reach out to other agencies for help. And so it's an ongoing concern for families, stress for families, but it's so wonderful when we have organizations like Easter Seals to say, you know, what have your families done before? How have they navigated the situation? And I think that's what we do really well. But yeah, so we love Easter Seals. We love coming out and supporting the events. I really resonated with Madeline's story there of the AFOs because, you know, there's tiny little braces on these tiny little legs, and those braces are $4,000. And Bo went through three pairs in 1 year. So they're growing, right? So it's an expense that families are like, okay, we just, you know, are done with that. And then a couple months later, they need it again. So we're grateful that we're not growing too fast these days, but you do want to see them grow. But yeah, and you know, you talk about the expenses of your home. Like I was emotional watching the video of camp because I think camp is so incredible, but it's a week in their life, and you can see the difference that it makes in their lives. But when a child can't go down the hallway in their house to their bedroom, like that's devastating, right? Or if a parent can't physically lift their child from their wheelchair to the change table, or from the wheelchair to their bed, or from the wheelchair to the shower chair, that's hard every single day, 365 days a year. So the support that we received through Easter Seals for the track, for the bedroom, or the slings, you know, that are $3,000 and 2 of them, one wet, one dry, or the shower chair that's $5,000, or the lift into a house because you don't live in a, you know, at grade home is $10,000. All of these things seem to come at one time because all, you know, your child is 40 pounds, you can lift them, 50 pounds, everything changes. Everything changes. You can't, like his chair, I used to, if you can imagine, pick this up and put it in the back of our van. And it was really heavy. And with his spasticity, his limbs would just stick out straight. So I'm trying to stick a board in the opening of a van door, which is really challenging. But to convert that van, the van that we had, it would have been $45,000 on top of the cost of a brand new van. If I could tell my 20-year-old self, hey girl, you're gonna have a $95,000 vehicle, it wouldn't be a Honda Odyssey. I can tell you that. It'd be something really cool. But now we're in a Dodge Caravan because it was a lot less money than the Odyssey to convert. And it's clunky and it's loud and the ramp is not electric. I can't push a button to open the side doors. But I used to dream about transporting him in a van and not lugging 2 separate pieces of equipment. And now we can roll in. If you see us, we're parked really terribly in the lot because it's a side entry and that's a whole new worry and stress. People never give enough space for the side entry. They never find parking for the side entry. But it allows us to get 3 seats in the back and we have 2 other kids. So when we go somewhere, we want to go as a family. Like those are the simple things. We're not asking for anything extravagant here. But yeah, I think we're doing all right. I think we're just going with the flow and we're having a great day. When we have a good day, we like to give back, lend a hand, you know. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for hearing some of my rant. It is a lot.
Thanks, and I'm sure somebody will have some questions, and I'm going to let Rachel speak, and then you can ask them both questions, and they can decide who's going to answer them.